Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the SAIBC Insider Conversations. This is indeed a very esteemed panel, and we will be talking to so many people from around the world, all involved in the Spanish Dance Society and all its different events. And so I'm quickly going to introduce our current guests, and at 3:30 we will switch some and put new ones in. Some people have to go and teach, and so we are very, very honored to have Dame Mavis Becker, Dame Rhoda Rivkind, Dame Marina Keet, Vicky Ramos, Veronica Williams, Conchita, and then Sir Geoffrey Neiman with us. Sir Jeff has been incredible friend and an incredible father in many ways. So we're really, really happy to have him with us. I want to quickly, before we start talking and saying hi to everybody, I would like for us to play a video of Sir Jeff and Mercedes Molina dancing to Alegría from a few years ago. And as founding members of the Spanish Dance Society, just let's look at them and enjoy their dancing. So, isn't that amazing? Unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. So, let's hear from the man himself. And it's so funny because, and again, I want to reiterate that this is the reason why today's talk is so important to me. Because for so many years, I would see Sir Jeff arrive at the theater, or we would go for tea or coffee or anything. But we never realized that each one of you have been an incredible dancer, and that's what I wanted to bring alive to today's talk. And I wanted to journey along those conversations. So, Sir Jeff, let's see if it works with you talking through my phone, because we're having some sound issues with you. So let's see how it goes and if it works. You just keep your phone also close to you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. So you can talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry for the guys. It's just so wonderful to meet you all. And I am so thrilled to be able to see Marina from London, Conchita from London, Vicky from Spain, Veronica, lovely to see you. I'm so glad that you're okay. And Mavis, wonderful for you to be here with us, as well as all the people who are going to join us in half an hour. It's just the most incredible thing. Dirk, thank you so very much for organizing the whole talk, and it's just going to be wonderful for the next hour to listen to all of you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sir Jeff. So tell us a little bit about how it all started for you and how it all came about, and your involvement in the end with the Spanish Dance Society.
Okay, I started dancing very late. I was only 15 when I started with tap dancing. And in the studio next door, I heard this wonderful Spanish music and castanets playing, and I went to watch it. I said, that's it. That's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And when the Saibc came to South Africa in 1957 with the Luisa company, I joined her in the studio, started learning with her, and from there everything just went well. I had an audition with the great Antonio when he came to South Africa in 1959. I was accepted in the company, went over to Spain and danced with him there for a year. Then the Mercedes was having a baby, so I got a message, please come on back home, I need you to run the studio. Came home, stayed for a year, and then went back and we joined Theo in his company and danced in Spain for 5 years all over the world. Lots of South Africans were with us at that time. Mavis, Rhoda, Harold Angels from Durban, few other people I cannot remember the names at the moment. And after 5 years, I had enough, came back, joined the Mercedes, we had her whole company running by then, became her partner, and we danced together for 15 years. That's my story.
And a fantastic story. Thank you very, very much, Sir Jeff. So we are exceptionally honored to have also with us today Dame Marina Keet, somebody whose book we read, somebody we've heard about so many, many times. And what an incredible person to have with us. So, Marina, if you could just tell us, what is it that really attracted you to Spanish dance? And what is it that keeps you going with all of these years?
Well, I'm very happy to be able to talk to you because I am the honorary life president of the Spanish Dance Society, and it really has been my life. And I'd like to go back a little bit to when it was formed and tell you about how it went in South Africa. And in 1965, Mavis Becker phoned me while I was studying in Spain and asked if I would like to form a syllabus for the teaching and examining of Spanish dance. I stopped over in Johannesburg on my return and I joined the work. I found the members Mercedes Marina and Rhoda Rivkind full of vitality. I was a teacher and choreography at the University of Cape Town Ballet School, where I had prepared the syllabus for my students. I told Darcy Howes, the director of the school, that I would add the syllabus of the Spanish Dance Society, which is unique. And she recognized the importance and magnanimously she paid for the cost of the printing and recording of the syllabi from the funds of the university. The concert pianist, Eduardo Santos, was my pianist. He also transcribed, wrote out, and recorded the music for us. In 1977, I moved to Rome, where I founded the society there. And when I moved to Washington, D.C., Ihre took over from me when I moved to Washington in 1981. And in Washington, I founded the society in America and joined the Faculty of Theater and Dance at the George Washington University, and they gave me the title of professor. Also started performing a company which was Spanish Dance Theater, called after the brilliant Lucille. Using the musical instruments from the Spanish region, we performed in very prestigious places like the Kennedy Center, the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, the Museum of Boston, and the oldest theater in New York, and after the Juilliard full of music and dance, they had flamenco was the only thing everybody had ever seen. So we celebrated also the Louisiana Purchase in New Orleans. And in 1993, I moved to London, and there the head of the Society for the Dame Monica Mason invited us to do a performance at the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden, organized by Geoffrey. It was our 30th anniversary. Then the splendid 50th anniversary in Valencia was indeed founded by Maria Jesus Garcia. She paid for it, and her friend Mercedes Fernandez helped her, and the Spanish Dance Society in Europe is brilliantly managed by the director and organizer Conchita del Campo and her excellent board of directors. So we are in very safe hands.
We are indeed, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. It really is incredible to be able to still be in a position where we can speak to the original founders of the Spanish Dance Society, which also then brings me to Rhoda. Rhoda, as before the session started, I said that Marina spoke about UCT, and that's where I met you the very, very first time in 1990 when you were the examiner for my first Spanish exam. So, Rhoda, I don't know if you can remember, but that's the fact. So let's talk about your dancing and the work that, or how that in the end led you to where you are today, and how does that help you to stay connected? Because before you answer, sorry, I always say to all the dancers around the world that it's their connection that they make through dance that is so truly important. It will stand them in good stead for the rest of their lives. And I think this is a prime example. It's the ability to stay connected. So, Rhoda, if you can talk a little bit about that. I'm going to ask Laura to also put slide 6 with some photos of Rhoda when she was a dancer on the screen for us while she's talking. So kind of a bit of a photographic journey of Rhoda. So Rhoda, let's say hi first and talk about you and your dancing.
Well, let's talk about how I started Spanish dancing. I actually came from Durban, and I had never seen Spanish dancing and never heard Spanish music. I came to Johannesburg, and one day I was walking in Hillbrow, and I heard this magnificent music in a building. So I went upstairs and I knocked on the door, and this bubbly little Spanish-looking woman with a hair in a bun came out, and eventually she invited me in to listen to it all. And I sat there for 3 hours, mesmerized by the music and the dancing. And eventually I said to her, I'm this. So I started learning with, and about 2 years later, we decided on the advice of Ivy Comney, who was an RAD examiner, to start a syllabus, because Ivy Comney said you can't just teach. The children have got to have something to show for it. So we started the syllabus by Mercedes going to Cape Town to try and find Spanish dancers. I went to Durban to try and find Spanish dancers. Mercedes found Diana Blaska, and I found Theo Dantes and Bernard Lau. We all came together in Johannesburg with Madame Gitanella, who was also a Spaniard in Johannesburg. We all started setting the syllabus, and we got up to grade 4 in the first session. It took us 10 years before we reached advanced. And these 6 teachers that started the syllabus were all automatically made examiners. And that's how we started syllabus.
So a question that many people ask, thank you, Dame Rhoda, is what does dancing do, and is there a future for dancers? And I still feel that in South Africa, we don't give enough credence nor honor to Spanish dance. So oftentimes, and I think it's indeed the case for most of the Spanish dancers, is that you're either a teacher and a dancer, or many people have other careers and do Spanish dancing on the side because we don't have sufficient funding to do it as a profession. Is that still very much the case?
Yes, it is. It is definitely the case. There's never been money for dancing. Spanish dancing, anyway.
No, it's not just Spanish dancing. I think it's for anything, because when I speak to my friends who are Pansula dancers, they have the same issues. And we would think that at some stage we would get to a government, and it's a discussion we had actually in a previous conversation, is that they always try and cut the cake into smaller slices instead of increasing the size of the cake. And until we get to the point where we can increase the size of the cake and give enough money to enough people, it's going to be the same situation. And that for me is so bad. And if we want to look at some of the transformational work that needs to happen, it can't happen for free. And so I think that is a challenge that faces us all. So I would like to, I want to speak to Dame Mavis Becker, but before we get to Dame Mavis Becker, I want to quickly also just show a slide of our page, of your patrons of the Spanish Dance Society, who I think are such important people. And we're going to talk about them in a moment, and we'll get back to them. But the job of a patron is such a very important role to fulfill. It needs to connect people. It needs to give stature to an organization, but it also needs to help fundraise. And I think that's something that needs to be looked into. Let's talk to Dame Mavis Becker. Dame Mavis Becker, I came across you also in 1990 when you were teaching Spanish dance at the UCT School of Ballet at that stage. It became dance later. And then I was very fortunate. I was able to travel with your company to Spain and Austria in 1993. And I think one of the other members on this group, Veronica, did you come on that trip with us?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes, I did.
So excellent. We'll get to you in a moment, Veronica. Let's talk Marina Lorca and the work that she has done and the incredible inspiration that you have been to so many young students in South Africa.
Can I just mention, I'm about 5'4", and you're about 6'3". And when I was teaching at UCT, Dirk would be there, and I'd say, put your arms up in fifth, and I'd have to stand on the chair, climb on the chair, and get his arms right.
Indeed, and she did it, which makes her really special.
It was lovely. All right, so the question is, what have I done with my life? I studied in Spain. I was very grateful that I could come back, and I joined a company, Lucio's company. That's another part where I went to Spain. I was able to gain a lot of knowledge from this. In the meantime, we went all over the Australasia and the Far East. And during that time, that was almost 9 months, I gathered a lot of information from the dancers, and my knowledge was really fantastic. And then came the society when I came home. Marina and I were there in Cape Town, and Diana came down and she taught the first few exams. I taught it to my student. As a matter of fact, Cheryl Wexler, who started the branch in London, was the first pupil that I taught the exams to, and she did the first 3 exams. And Mercedes came to Cape Town, and she examined Cheryl, and Cheryl reminded me that she got honours for all her exams. And I was invited up to Joburg to help with from grade 5 onwards. And they I helped them, and then I choreographed Fandango. I think Marina helped with that with me as well. And Marina was amazing. She was so generous with her time and with her dancing knowledge, and she gave it to all of us. And what I found about the Spanish Dance Society was we became a family. And it was so wonderful because everybody gave of their knowledge, of their experience, because most of us, we had been in Spain and we'd studied and we'd been in companies in Spain and out of Spain. And we all gained from becoming a society. We all gained, became a family. Then later on, Cheryl Wexler, who was my pupil, went off to London. Marina went off to Rome. I was invited to Rome to dance with Marina when she started the society in her work. And then I was invited to go to London when Cheryl was there because she was teaching at the Elmhurst School. And I was able to teach Vicky, to examine Vicky there and her sister, I believe. And after that, Marina went to Washington. I was invited there to Washington, and all the time we were workshops with different Spaniards. We were picking up a lot of information and a lot of knowledge of Spanish dance. Marina was very generous, and she loved putting on shows. She came back to Cape Town on many occasions, and during the 60s, she put on shows. She used my pupils, she used the university pupils, and they were absolutely fantastic shows. Most of them were regional and classical dances, and then she invited me and quite a few of Hazel Acosta and a few of us to do the flamenco. Am I talking too much?
No, that's perfect, because this is what today's conversation is about. We want to know what happened. I'm going to cross over to Conchita, because Conchita, I know that you will have to leave soon because you have to go and teach. Am I correct?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
So talk to us about you and what the Spanish Dance Society has done for you, because also tell us where you are, because you're not in South Africa. And this syllabus, which we have to thank these people for, has traveled the world because of these people. And so tell us how this has helped you develop into who you are today.
Yes, so greetings from London, everybody. I know we're all over the world, but I'm up here in London. And I was born into a Spanish dancing family because my father was a refugee from the Spanish Civil War, and he met my mother in London. Now, they both started studying Spanish with the renowned teacher and wonderful artist, Lucille Armstrong. And then they formed a group, a folk dancing group with the family. And we mainly focused and specialized on regional dancing from Aragon, Murcia, Valencia, Castilla, and then eventually the Canary Islands. So my brother and I, on the recommendation of Leonie Erdang, another South African lady who was our ballet teacher, she recommended that he continued a dancing career. So we went to the arts educational schools. I followed in his footsteps, and we both became professional classical ballet dancers. So I went on to train towards the end of my dancing career with the Royal Academy of Dancing. And then I became a Pilates teacher and a ballet teacher for London Studio Centre for 29 years. And while I was there, Victoria Ramos, she contacted me and asked me if I was interested in taking over her Spanish dancing school in Portobello, because she was going to live in Jerez. So I immediately saw the syllabus and thought, how marvellous. It's a wonderful syllabus that has a gradual progression from absolute beginners to advanced, and then offers teaching qualifications, which I think is truly brilliant. I started teaching straight away, and I was helped by her sister Nuria, who was teaching all the free flamenco for us, for the students. The main thing I felt the syllabus did for me is it made me really confident in being able to teach Spanish dancing, because it had a wonderful progression and it lays a solid foundation for the technique. It includes also the variety of Spanish dancing that I loved, which was the classical Escuela Bolera and regional, and estilizado, and of course the flamenco. So I actually then became an examiner, and now I'm happily working for the Society as one of the directors and the chief organizer for the UK and European branch. The other directors are Nuri Garcia, Vicky's sister, and Cheryl Crossan-White. We have a great team of loyal members on our boards and committees, and they're all contributing to the success of our branch. And like you said, we're very grateful to the founders for having created this wonderful syllabus, and especially our president, Marina. And as Mavis mentioned, she's so generous. She inspires and motivates us all and gives us all her knowledge, her wisdom, her expertise. And the main thing is she keeps her wonderful eagle artistic eye on us and guides us through every step that we take. We're all dedicated towards the progress and expansion of the society. And now we have Pilar and Jaime in Mexico. And there's a new teacher from Greece actually up in Norway starting now. So we're very excited. We're looking forward to a rosy future. And we hope we all go really well in the future. It's been lovely meeting everyone from all over the world. But I think that's it from me, and thank you for listening.
Oh, no, Conchita, you must show your dancing.
Pardon?
You must show your dancing.
Oh, I'll do that later.
Thank you very much, Conchita. Much appreciated.
We'll all dance, and I'll do our hotters. So thank you.
Sir Jeff. Thank you very much, Conchita. That really is great. And it's a great way of bringing everything together, because that's the hard work that we talk about. So, Sir Jeff, we're going to try to put you back into the phone in a moment. But I want to talk about that before I'm going to get to Vicky and Veronica. So we have Mavis, Dame Mavis. We have Marina, Dame Marina. We have Rhoda, Dame Rhoda, and we have Geoffrey as Sir Geoffrey. We have a few other United Spanish dance luminaries. What does it mean and to have received that accolade? Because it's so often we say, yeah, it's not about the accolade, but the accolade has to mean something. So, Sir Jeff, if you can just talk into your phone so I can put it next to the microphone, and let's see if it still works. Just one moment. Sorry. Oops. Yes, let's try.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Basically, for me, it was just the most wonderful honor to be recognized as the King of Spain. This actually goes for Marina, Mavis, Rhoda, Kaplan and Toya from Victoria, who is Laurie Harrison. And the other person actually is the late Carolyn's birthday today. So wonderful that we are having this because she was posthumously knighted by the King of Spain as well. And she was one of the people who really went out into the disadvantaged areas here in Cape Town and started teaching all these people Spanish dancing. There's a picture that's just come up of all those 6 wonderful black dancers from disadvantaged areas who Carolyn did the most wonderful work with. Unfortunately, since she passed away, funding has stopped and it hasn't been easy to carry on the wonderful work that she has done. But there is another teacher in Cape Town, Shay Adams, and she has now got a wonderful studio, and she has got a lot of people who she is now getting to learn Spanish dancing, mainly flamenco, and it is just fantastic. So yes, this honor that was given to all of us was something very, very special and very appreciated.
That's amazing. And I think, as I said,
sorry, can I just say the one person I've left out was Hazel Rapestra, Hazel Acosta from Cape Town. who was part of our society and has also been honored with this award from the Spanish king. Thank you, Dirk.
Thank you, Sir Jeff. And we just had a photo of you dancing with Hazel, because Hazel was also very much instrumental in a lot of the TV productions that you were very fortunate to have in many years ago. Let's talk Veronica. Veronica, number one, it's so great to see you. It's been great to dance with you. Veronica's even shorter than Mavis, and we've danced Sevillanas together, etc. So you've had that, and then Mavis, Veronica and I share a passion for Cuba as well. So you do incredible work, and you've done incredible work. So let's talk about Veronica and your journey and your particular hardships that you've had to go through in your life as a Spanish dancer.
Thank you, Dirk, for having me. My journey actually started when I started studying at the UCT Ballet School in 1971. That was the first time that I was introduced to ballet, to Spanish dancing, and I was very fortunate and privileged to be taught by Dame Marina Keet, and then also by Jasmine Honorary. And I want to say that when I put on those red Spanish shoes for the first time, something just clicked inside. And when I performed my first few steps, I just felt such a strong connection with this dance form. So, you know, in 1968, I actually started the Women School of Ballet in Kensington, because I realized that children coming from the disadvantaged communities would just not have the opportunity to learn to dance. They couldn't afford to attend classes anywhere else. And so the Women was started in 1968. I had no dance qualifications and started evening classes at UCT Ballet School. And subsequently, I was invited to do the 3 years teacher's course at ballet school. And so started my journey with Spanish dance, because I developed such a great love for the dance. I did all my junior exams at the ballet school, for which I also obtained honors for many of them, but then decided that I wanted to continue with my studies, and did all my senior exams with Marilyn Shear, and I was awarded the Mercedes Molina bursary twice in 1993, and when I did my intermediate exam and my advanced exam. And then in 1994, I studied with Mavis. She put me through my Maestro de Baile. And after completing that exam, the Spanish Dance Society invited me to become an examiner, which I felt very proud that I was being invited to examine not only nationally, but also internationally. I really felt that the Spanish Dance Society had devised a syllabus which was so useful in that you could teach children from ingreso level right through to the advanced level, and they were able to learn the different styles of Spanish dancing, as Conchita mentioned earlier on. And my pupils, I started entering them since 1975 till 2008. And they have loved the Spanish dancing. We've done numerous productions where we have used the medium of Spanish dance to focus on issues that were affecting the community. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to dance professionally in a company only until 1994, because I was not allowed access to any theatre in South Africa because of the apartheid system. But in 1994, or 1992, I should say, I actually performed for the first time in Mavis's company, Dame Marina Lorca, in her company, Danza Lorca, at the Ode Libertas Theatre. So I want to also say thank you to Mavis for having given me that opportunity, and also to thank Dame Marina Keet for the wonderful teaching that she gave me during my years at ballet school, and for always encouraging me. And I was very fortunate to go to Austria with the company, and I also performed in many of Dame Marina Lorca's performances at theatres or venues where the permit system was not applied. So my love for Spanish dancing has never ever stopped, despite the fact that in 2010 I was no longer able to teach and examine because of my ill health. And here I also want to thank Rhoda for having believed in me and for giving me the opportunity to travel overseas, to examine in 7 countries, and at the same time conduct revision courses in all of these countries. Thank you, Rhoda, for giving me that opportunity and for believing in me. And so all I can say now is that my love for Spanish dance will never stop. And the pupils whom I've taught at Woven, the dancers, many of them are now performing and dancing with other teachers. In fact, Shay and her mom were both pupils of mine. Shay's mom I taught since the age of 6. She was a ballet pupil at Woven and then came back to study Spanish, and then I taught Shay. And the two of them have started, they've opened up their own studio, and Shay has started this flamenco dance company, and it's doing exceptionally well. And I'm very proud of many of the Woven dancers who are performing. Ronell and many others. Bernice has danced. They've also danced with Mavis in her company, Danza Lorca, and also danced with Carolyn in La Rosa. And so I firmly believe that they will continue to keep the flame of flamenco alive for many more decades. Thank you so much, Dirk, for giving me this opportunity.
She speaks nicely.
Thank you very, very much. That was beautiful. And it just, I sit here with almost tears in my eyes because I know what you've gone through, and I know the battle that you've had to fight on so many levels. But I also know that because of Spanish dance in general, but also the Spanish Dance Society, you are who you are today. And so for that, to the Spanish Dance Society, thank you very much. Thank you for doing everything that you have done. I think it's incredible to know and to be able to see the fruits of your labor, to know that you are indeed having an impact, you know, so often. And I think in dance, we are so used to dance and we are not good at capturing. And that is important. And this is why this conversation is so important to me. It's great that we can find a platform to at least say, well done, Spanish Dance Society. Thank you, teachers. You are incredible. Marina, we're going to have to say goodbye to you. But before we say goodbye to Dame Marina Kid, if you have 1 minute, literally 1 minute, Dame Marina, what is it that you would like to say to the dance fraternity and the Spanish Dance Society members around the world?
Well, I think you all do a wonderful job. But Dirkie, I want to ask you, will you show Conchita doing a regional classical dance at the end? Could you give her the chance? Because it shows something different. It's the last couple dance of the Perisset family. And she has this, she studied with him, and also you will be able to read the classical Spanish dance. I would dearly love that. She's a beautiful dancer. Is that possible?
I would love to, but we sadly don't have it in our archive, so we sadly can't. Which is
why? Because I sent it to you.
I don't have it. I will try and see if we can find it.
Because you asked for it.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find it, and then we'll see if we can do something about it. So
it's really it's a classic example of what the Perisset family did with the Escuela Bolera. It is only how much? 75. It's only 75 seconds.
We will try and see if we can quickly find it in the meantime. But thank you very, very much, Marina. And
I would be very grateful.
And thanks for having you as well, Veronica. We really appreciate having you with us. They're going to say goodbye to us, and while they go away, we will replace them. We have already got Hilary Kaplan joining us and Maria Luisa. So while we say goodbye to those, Vicky, talk through your history, please.
Well, I started off obviously in South Africa, in Johannesburg, at the I learned with Madame Gitanella, with Florence Bonigia, with Theo Dantes. I probably was just another child that did dance. I loved dance, so I just did every single kind of dance you can imagine. My parents then immigrated to the UK, where I was 16. And when I got to the UK, I went to study at London Studio Centre. We were also like with really not a lot of funds, so I needed to make money. And I found the Spanish dancing scene in London and immediately realized that from all the Spanish dance that I'd learned in South Africa, that I could start working professionally. I met my husband, who's a guitarist and singer, and I was working in all the tablaos in London, like Los Mourinho, La Costa Brava, La Costa Dorada. So we worked every single night, like 7 nights a week, doing shows. We also liaised with Paco Peña, where we did several shows and several tours of flamenco. And I kind of liaised this with starting together at the London Studio Centre until I was qualified. As Conchita said, I worked with the Spanish immigrants in London, and I used to teach them Spanish dance and introduce the SDS there. And my husband, who's from Jerez de la Frontera, where we live now, he was very anxious to get back to Spain. And I just couldn't think of anything better because I love Spain. I love UK, but I much prefer the weather in Spain, especially in Andalusia. So I said, okay, I'll be brave. I don't know what I'm going to do in Jerez de la Frontera, which is the motherland of flamenco. But we can go and we can try. I'm a qualified ballet teacher. I can always teach ballet anyway. So we packed our bags. I taught Conchita the whole syllabus, grade syllabus. So she took over my school and I was off to Jerez de la Frontera. I've had my school here for like 35 years. I'm part of a group of teachers in Jerez, of flamenco teachers. We all liaise together. We work on shows together in La Villa Marta. We do flamenco Christmas carols. I've done choreography for the television of Jerez de la Frontera. We've worked in the feria. I've sent students on tour all around the world. But having said that, I must say that I am so grateful to the Spanish Dance Society. Maybe I never would have been introduced to flamenco dancing or to Spanish dancing, but that beautiful basis that I was taught in South Africa by all those wonderful people, when I got to England, I just started working professionally. It wasn't a problem. And I thought, my goodness, I didn't realize that I'd learned so much in South Africa. When I got to Spain, I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do anything here. And they are so wonderful. But I started teaching, and they have an official conservatorio in Spain. And some people came and they said to me, can you prepare us for Conservatorio? I said, well, I don't know. I'll go and find out. So I went to the Conservatorio and I got their syllabus. And I looked at it and I said, wow, I've done all of this. It included stirizada, it included folklore dancing, flamenco dancing, and escuela bolera. I thought, okay, it's all free. They just give you guidelines. Let's go for it. So I actually have prepared many, many students for the official Conservatorio exams in Spain. And some of them have passed before we could do it in our studios, free. So you teach them and you took them at the end of the year for the exam. So that's thanks to South Africa that I have learned 4 different styles of Spanish dance. And in a way, very, very similar to the way they even teach in Spain, because they teach the 4 styles of Spanish dance side by side in the Conservatorio. Having done that, I've even been invited to certain conservatorios in Spain to give teachers lectures and teachers courses on many different aspects. Now we are really looking at the SDS syllabus, which is like such a good syllabus, but like every single dance evolves. And things need to be updated, especially on the flamenco side, because the escuela bolera and folklore will always be the same. So I'm working with some of the best professionals and best choreographers, and we are slowly but surely going to modernize the SDS syllabus, but together with all our friends from all over the world. I'm really, really excited about this new project. We did a whole video of all the grades, which is basically the original syllabus. And I just want to say thank you, South Africans. Thank you, all those wonderful teachers, for sharing with all the South Africans your work. This is excellent.
Thank you so much, Vicky. And this is just, again, a sign of what has been done, what can be done if a group of people come together and they actually work together, because this is the importance.
Absolutely. SDS is generosity, 100% generosity. It's sharing.
I was watching a video that was made during your 50th celebration that was put together by Mavis's daughter, Luisa. And it was something that she mentioned was the fact that everybody just so willingly came together and gave. And I think that's a lesson for all of us around the world. Whether it's dance, whether it's business, whether it's the need for humanity to start working together and being together and to understand that we are one humanity, and that is what will bring us forward. So we have been joined by Youla, by Wilcarina, by Zethu, and by Hilary, and Maria Luisa. But before we get to them, I just want to quickly hear from Mavis and Vicky, if there's anything else that you would like to add out of the conversation before we continue. And I will ask Lauke to just post some photos, which I call fun photos of a few different things, which includes a photo that was taken at your 50th celebration. So Lauke, if you can show that. But Mavis, if you have something to add at the moment, let us know.
Fine. Talking about the society, well, the one thing that they did do, we had a lady called, well, in any case, we had an examiner, a ballet examiner, Ivy Conmy, who, when I was made an examiner, she gave me wonderful tips of how to examine, how to be really very careful how I examined and not be harsh, and to be encouraging. And that was really important in an exam situation. And the nice thing about all of us is we got together and there was a lot of professional engagement. We got in different people from Spain, and we always benefited from these classes and these workshops. It happened every year, especially in London, where Cheryl Wexler was organizer for so many years. And that was very important. Whenever I danced with my company, I was invited by the Eau de Libertas, by Stellenbosch Farmers Winery at Eau de Libertas. They actually asked me to go with one of the directors to Spain to see the amphitheaters to see if they could copy it, because they were very, very interested in having a Spanish dance company there. And they thought of my company. And I had many invited male partners come in through the years. Every year I was able to do a show with my pupils, with my dance company, and with other professionals. And we invited somebody called Jose Antonio. He was the one that was directing the Ballet Nacional. He came for about 5 years with his guitarist, with his singers, and with his wife on two occasions, all famous people. And we had the most marvelous input, because there was always classes afterwards. He gave wonderful input to all the people in the show. They learned so much, and every different person that was Spanish Dance Society on a lot of occasions invited people, not only in London, but in South Africa. And the last few times we've had Angel Munoz, who is a marvelous dancer. And so it was always one of the best dancers that came and helped our dancers to improve themselves, to give them knowledge. And I think you're doing that with the Cubans now, Dirk. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. This is the only way where we can learn. And I must just mention that with Carolina, she was my student, and then she eventually made a company. And unfortunately, she's no more here. We have Debbie Turner, who was a student. She was with Danza Lorca. I know that Dirk was in Danza Lorca a few times. So all these people benefited from the invited guests who gave of themselves as well. It was not only us. We've all given and we've all taken. And it's been like a family, and we've all benefited, and we've all been like a family. We've all loved each other, as I do with all of you. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you so very, very much. We're going to say goodbye to Dame Mavis, and we're going to say goodbye to Vicky. Vicky, is there anything you wanted to say before you go? And then we will have the rest with us for the remainder of the time. We are going to go slightly over time, and I hope that all of the people that joined in the second half can stay a little bit longer with us, please. If you can show whether you can. Maria, can you? If you can just go thumbs up if you can. Hilary, if you can. Zethu, if you can. Wilcarina can. And Youla, if you can, that would be great. Okay, perfect. Vicky, anything, a final goodbye before you say goodbye?
Thank you to everybody. I think this is such a great idea to have this conversation, and I'm sure that we've got a lot of life in us, and let's keep the generosity, let's keep sharing, and we'll go from strength to strength. So I love you all, and ciao everybody. Adios.
Indeed. Thank you very much, and goodbye to Dame Mavis and Vicky.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, Geoffrey, wait one moment. Geoffrey's trying to say something, and I can't hear what he's saying. Jeff just made me. Sir Jeff, what is it that you want to say? Oh. Okay, let's go again, Sir Jeff. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say thank you to all the people who have left for their wonderful contribution, for everything everybody is now doing for the society. Having been the international chairman for 29 years, it is just marvelous to know that I'm leading the society in such good hands with all the young people who are coming up to carry on the marvelous work that we started in the beginning. Muchísimas gracias por todo lo que has estado. Thank you, Dirk. I'll listen now to everybody else speaking.
Thank you, Sir Jeff. Youla, I think that you will speak soon, if I'm not mistaken. So let's start with you. Tell us where you are at, and what is happening in Spanish dance where you are at. Youla, you have to unmute your microphone. You have to turn your microphone on. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi,
Thank you
everyone.
very much. Welcome.
Good to see you all. Do you want me to just give you just a few words about myself and then what we're doing here in Greece? Is that okay?
Yes,
so that
perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was born in Johannesburg. I started dancing with Vivian Katz. She was one of the youngest members of Mercedes Molina's company, a beautiful dancer and a fantastic teacher. And then I went on to study with Hilary, doing my ballet, my teacher's diploma. Hi, Hilary, miss you. And then carried on with Tina Delianis and Theo Dantes, and I finished my IDB1 and then left for Greece. I was a bursary winner as well with Mercedes Molina in 1988, and then I was invited to dance as a guest for Arroyo Dance Company, and I was also a member for Danza Noventa Dance Company, which was in South Africa for many years. So I came to Greece in 1994 as a guest artist, and then I came back in 1995 because I went to Spain, having gotten awarded the bursary, but as a young girl I couldn't leave due to being at school. So I came later, and I went in 1995. And I did a lot of classes, and I danced with Mtati, and then I came back to Greece in 1996, and I was on the same stage with Mtati, so that was a fantastic experience. I was also the youngest PDB applicant, the Professor de Baile diploma in Greece, and no one else had managed to obtain it at 23, so I was the first student to do that. Then as, I got married, I've got 2 beautiful children, and then I opened 2 government-accredited schools here in Evia Island, which is such a beautiful island, and we're really so lucky to live in this place. And we offer, through our dancing, we help a lot of charities in this country because there are no national companies. There's only one ballet national company in Greece, and unfortunately flamenco, we have a lot of private dance companies to promote the dancing, and we do a lot of charity performances to help a lot of students. We raised 26,000 euros last year from 80 schools that are all government accredited from all over the country, ballet schools, but a lot of schools do teach flamenco, so that is part of the show as well. I always do danza estilizada and flamenco, and it's a good message for students to give parents and their relatives and other people in the country that, doing your thing, loving your art of dance, you can offer and help other people that can't do it. And it's a really, really big thing for us here in Greece. So we offer that a lot. I just want to say thank you to Vicky Ramos. She's left now, but due to SDS, my daughter, having studied with SDS, with Spanish Dance Society, is one of the trainees that has got into a conservatory in Spain. And she got in with a bursary last year, in the 5th year, and she obtained her diploma this year. So she, was the first conservatory dancer from Greece, and that's due to Spanish Dance Society. So really thank you to Spanish Dance Society for everything that the syllabus has offered us, and what the training that goes through our Spanish Dance Society is just amazing. So congrats to all of us, and we're a really, really big family, and it must get bigger. So that's great.
And
thank
you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Youla. That's incredible. We appreciate it. And I think, again, this shows the interconnectivity. So we've been from all over the world. So we're going to go down south to Australia. So Hilary, talk to us. What is happening with the Spanish Dance Society in Australia? Hilary, your microphone is off. Can you just turn it on for us, please? Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Well, I started dancing by default because I was brought up with 4 brothers, and when I was 7, I went to visit a friend, and she was going to Spanish, and she said, "Would you like to come with me?" I said, "Sure." All I knew was my brothers playing soccer. Anyway, Mercedes was having her first baby, and Geoffrey was my teacher. Well, I fell in love with Geoffrey, and I fell in love with Spanish dance. Anyway, after a few months, Geoffrey thought, I need to be doing ballet. And he phoned my mom, and off I started doing ballet. And of course, dance then took over my life. And, the Spanish Dance Society actually set me up for my whole career, because from the beginning, I did the ballet and Spanish side by side. I loved them equally. And I was fortunate enough to win a scholarship, the RAD scholarship to the Royal Ballet School. And I danced in the company, and I had Rhoda, Geoffrey as my teachers, besides Merce. And I've been examined by all these fabulous people like Dame Marina and Dame Mavis and many others. And they've all come to Australia to examine. So when I've got 5 daughters, and my husband said it's time to leave South Africa, we came here, and I started teaching Spanish at various schools, besides obviously teaching ballet. And now then, after 2 years, I set up our own schools, and we've got 5 branches. And of course, it was very hard. What was so wonderful was when the Spanish Dance Society started, I was sort of the guinea pig. So basically all levels were almost based on me. And, I was one of the first with one other, Diane Laidlow, doing the advanced exam. And then with the Helena Montoya, we were the first MDBs. And, it was so exciting. And initially I did examine, but because I'm an examiner for the RAD too, it was just impossible running a household and the studios and, examining and whatever. So unfortunately, I had to give up the Spanish examining. But the kids in our school all do it. And then a very exciting thing happened when Lynn Wallace was the artistic director of the Royal Academy. She called me, and when they were changing the syllabus, she said, "Hilary, would you like to choreograph a Spanish dance for the grade 5 level?" I said, "I'd love to." So she said, "Okay, send me 2 dances," which I did. And they chose one. And it's a beautiful piece of music, Massenet. And the examiners were thrilled to learn it. I was getting calls from all over the world saying, "Oh my God, we love Spanish." And, and even in Sydney and all over Australia, they were phoning me, "Is this how you do it?" And they'd send me little clips of themselves. And all I can say were, my teachers were like my parents. They, and all the Spanish Dance Society people are a family. And I can't thank them enough for absolutely everything. I am where I am because of them. And I just send all my love and thank you for everything you've given me.
Thank you very much, Hilary. That's amazing. And the photo that I showed wasn't of Hilary, was of Geoffrey and Mercedes. Just to kind of show, again, these people, not just Geoffrey and Mercedes, but the whole group, and the influence they have, and it continues to happen. And I would like to move on to Zethu. And before we speak to you, Zethu, I want to play a short video clip of you dancing. We're going to just show a very short clip. And then, Zethu, I want to talk to you a little bit. And I said short because we're running out of time. But Zethu, isn't that amazing? And isn't it amazing that it all started more than 50 years ago, and now that is being taken into where? Talk, Zethu. Tell us. Share with us.
Hi everyone, nice to see you all. I started dancing with Dance for All in 1990, but then I joined. Carolyn had auditions because she wanted to start a development sector in a studio. So we were 5 girls who went to audition, and she was looking for 4 girls. And what happened was she ended up taking all 5 of us because she couldn't leave the one girl, you know. And so we started dancing. We started learning the syllabus. And then I did my IDB. And we did studio shows. We performed at the Baxter, at Artscape. And then I did my PDB 1, the flamenco section. And then all to find out that while she was looking for the folk, on the auditions when we started, I was the girl who was going to be left out. That was the funny thing, because at the end, it ended up being me left dancing in the company, teaching in the company. And she would say, thank God I decided to take you, that, you know, because what would have happened if I've left you? Because all the other girls left and did other stuff. So I joined the company. I taught the company, I was the teacher. And then in early 2000, in the mid 2008, 9, she started a bridging course. It was called the vocational dance course. So there it was matrix. She auditions the grade 12s for the program, so that it's like a UCT program, but La Rosa with Spanish, not just ballet. So we had to compile everything, apply. We had students who came to join. It was actually amazing. I taught flamenco, I taught theory. The students did ballet, contemporary, they did theater, musicals. So the program was a full program, not just for flamenco dancing. It was an all-rounder. So I was a tutor there. And on the other side, I did bookkeeping for La Rosa. I did administration. And then also started studying towards my BCom to while at La Rosa. Because Caroline always believed that dancing alone is not enough. You need to have other aspects in your life. You need to be able to fully grasp. If you want to be a dancer, you need to be able to know how to do your books. You need to be able to know how to market. Because one day you would open up your own company, then what's going to happen? So she taught us how to multitask. She was amazing. Not just.
So I'm going to interrupt. Sorry, Zethu, I'm going to interrupt because number one, we're kind of running out of time. But what I want to find out is, you got all these skills, you learned all of these things. So talk now. What happens now where you are? How does that help you now? What is a typical day, and who are your typical students? And what are your typical challenges that you are facing on a day-to-day basis where you are?
Okay. Now I teach part-time at UCT. I also teach at the Waldorf primary school. I have students who I'm teaching the syllabus to. Ingreso, primer año. I've got, and then we also have the company that we've opened. Me and other colleagues from La Rosa. Our company is Flamenco del Cabo. Before the lockdown, we were planning a launch to fully, because the company is registered. We have dancers, we have students who we teach on Saturdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. So my typical day is me coming from work and going to teach the syllabus to my students. And then on Saturdays, we have company classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we're always working towards something. There's always something coming up, whether it be a gig. But now we're working towards a studio launch so that we get our name out there as ex-La Rosa dancers. So that's
perfect.
Where we are at the moment.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the Spanish Dance Society showing the levels and levels and levels, landing up with the Del Cabo company performing. And I can't wait to see that. And I can't wait to see the work that you are doing right now. Because I'm hoping that it can be taken deeper, deeper, deeper into parts of South Africa and townships that have not been reached before. And I think this for me is so very, very important. And that's why the work of Carolina was so very, very important. And it all came from that top, and it's kind of spread out and spread out. So it hasn't only spread out around the world. The work that you are doing and the information that you have been fed is spreading as wide as possible. And I think this is very, very important. So please, please, please tell us kind of what is it that you need to make this happen quicker, faster, because it has to happen, and the transformation has to happen, and the development has to happen. And that's what I'm wanting to get at, to see, are there not ways that we can hasten, but we can speed it up and make it easier? We have a former president of the Spanish Dance Society, and I think we have the current chair lady of the Spanish Dance Society here. But we also have the whole world. We have people from around the world watching. How can they help to make it happen quicker, faster, and better?
First of all, we don't have studio space. I get once or twice a week, once a week at UCT, and we also had get space at Good Hope Seminary in town. But we don't have our own space, because if the hall is occupied, then we can't dance. Or if UCT is busy, then we can't get the space. And then reaching out to the townships, it's the space, the dancing space. We don't have, when we have enough teachers, because we're all teachers. Fortunately for us, we're all teachers. And we're all choreographers.
Really, it's not space, it's more dollars. Is that a greater reality? Because in the end, if you had the dollars, you could have the space.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Yeah. Because
we are so...
I don't know who said. Because we're funding the studio ourselves at the moment. You know, we don't have funding from anyone. So if we can, you know, someone who knows a place around in town area or anywhere actually for that matter, that we can access and have full access to it and get more students coming in, you know, it would be great, because we want to teach. We want to finish dancing to be out there again in Cape Town. Because when Carolina was alive, she made sure that we went to the townships to teach. We went to Line Drop. We went to Kukuletu. But now all that stopped, you know. So we would love to go out and reach out again, because children, they love Spanish dancing. They love it. They can relate to it. The feeling, the passion, they can relate to it. So we would love to have our own space where we can call home. This is our home, and this is where we are, and then we work.
So let's make that a challenge, and let's see how we can encourage people to support to get to that point. Zethu, thank you very much. Thank you very much for carrying on the legacy of Carolina, which we heard is the legacy from Mavis, which we heard is the legacy of the Spanish Dance Society. And this is what makes this conversation so lovely. And so the passion that you talk about that exists for Spanish dance, where you work, is the same passion that is in Australia, is in South Africa, is in Spain, in Greece, and also in Italy. Dear Luisa, let's talk to you about what's happening there in Italy, please.
Yes, hello. Yes, what happens in Italy? Where shall I start? I can start from the beginning, where when I met Marina Keet in 1976, and I was so keen on starting Spanish dance, because I have to go back again. I have to tell a little bit from where I come from. I am born in Sweden. I'm a Swedish, and a big, very strong printing was to be admitted at the Royal Opera of Stockholm. And there I was staying for several years, and then we moved on to France, and I made a French school, and then lately I came to Italy. I became Italian and Roman. I married, and there I met Marina. And Marina, her husband is Swedish, so it was very interesting. It was again a sort of connection through South Africa, Sweden, and Italy. And as I was always fascinating by Spanish dance, I remember my mother came home with castanets and I was playing as a child. I always thought the most interesting art was Spanish dance and flamenco, of course. So when I met Marina, and it was through Sandra Keetsman, who no longer is with us since long time ago. I met her in Rome, and she said, we must absolutely start. I want you so much to start a syllabus, because I've been trained with a syllabus in Johannesburg, and it's fantastic. And I can tell you that Marina Keet's husband has been moved to Rome to FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. And so I want you to meet her. And so I met Marina. I was very, very enthusiastic. I said, please, I would like to take lessons with you. And so I started. And I was the first, at least she said, in 71, I was the first student outside South Africa who made the first exam, ingresso, and it was Mavis who examined me. Then things went on, and I made my instructor de baile 1 with Rhoda, and then Marina left, and she said, well, take all these things. I think you're the only person who can go forward with this. So I had where I'm living in the old historical center of Rome, I could have at disposal a cave, a very nice cave, and that's why it's called La Cueva. And there I started to teach everything I knew. I started to teach. And it started with babysitters, it started with friends, with adults, of course, and so on. So it was not a ballet school. And I made them do all the exams, because I convinced them. I said, dance is fantastic, the Spanish dance, you can do it. You don't need to start very, very young. On the contrary, it's the personality that is important. And for me, there is no age for dancing. You should dance the whole life. So that was the beginning of the story. And then I became I became organizer in 89. And then I was asked to go to Sicily and to teach the syllabus there, because they knew about me and doing the syllabus in Rome. And so I started with 3 wonderful persons who each of them had ballet schools and where they did modern and ballet. And they had been doing Spanish dance with Franca Roberti at the Scala, long time ago. But they were so thrilled with the syllabus, because they've always been seeking a method, a structure, and a pedagogical itinerario where to do things. So I formed 3 PDB in Sicily, in Catania, and near Etna. And so that is a little bit of the story. Now, of course, one testimonial is that for me, you can teach adults very well. You don't need to start with small children. Of course, it's marvelous if you can do it. But I mean, this syllabus is so pedagogical done that you really can give it also to adults. And I should say more, to people who never have danced. If they have the passion, if they're willing, if they like it, I said, well, we have 50% gained, so we can go. And I really must say, then I started to make shows because I wanted to give dance to a big purpose. And as my grandchild, she has got a handicap that is spinal muscular atrophy. I wanted to make shows, and I produced at least 10 different shows with a theme for the purpose to save money, to raise money for this, research on spinal muscular atrophy. Now, so I've been doing that. I have got a wonderful group of adults, and they are doing very, very well. And now, of course, with COVID, it's a big, big problem. We have got so few students. We hope to more, but you know, it's a worldwide pandemic. So we hope that people will have confidence coming back, and things will pass. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sure. Thank you very much, and really, really keep up the good work, and also a big hug to your granddaughter.
Thank you so much.
Yes, it's really so special. Dance is such an incredible inspiration, but also a therapy on so many levels, and I think that's something that we must never ever forget. The next lady is the chair lady, and Wilcarina's students used to do some of the most beautiful regional Spanish dances. I remember with the most beautiful costumes. And so, Wilcarina, I don't want to ask you the same question as to where you come from. I want to talk about what is the aim? What would you like to achieve with the Spanish Dance Society going forward? What is the Spanish Dance Society's dream to achieve? You know, if we hear about the challenges that Zethu has in Cape Town, it's not the only challenges that many of us face, of course. But how do we achieve more, and how do we make people more aware of these challenges? So it's a broad question, and so let's see what you can do with it. And welcome back, Wilcarina.
Hi there, Dirk. Thank you so much for having us. And it's been so. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. It's been so interesting listening to everybody's awesome histories about how they came about and how the dancing has affected them and how Spanish dancing has affected them. And I must say that for me, it's been my life. The Spanish Dance Society has come a long way since its inception, and gaining many, many members all over the world, as we've seen today. And for me, I just feel that we should even try and spread a little bit more. We can try and spread a bit more in South Africa. I definitely did find that after Mercedes Marina passed away, and the company of Mercedes Marina then disintegrated at the time, Spanish isn't quite so visual in South Africa. And I think that is actually in our country, that is our biggest problem, is that we don't have more exposure to Spanish dance. We have small little companies, but they're not getting the opportunity of going out and performing and making big shows. For one thing, I think its cost is a huge problem, and I think that is what Zethu was also trying to say, is that cost is actually the biggest problem for everybody. And if we can try and overcome that by perhaps even starting small and building up with smaller shows, going bigger and bigger, exposing more. The syllabus also is in the art schools, the Spanish dance in the art schools, but we're also finding that it would be nicer if they could actually build it a little bit more in the art schools. Pretoria Art School in particular usually used to have very big entries. And Joburg is also building up a bit more now, but in previous years, of course, the art schools had huge entries for matric exams for the Spanish, which actually I think is still awesome that the children can still do Spanish as a matric exam, which is a big draw card, especially for all those people who really enjoy the Spanish dance. We have, during this time of COVID, also been challenged to spread our wings, and we've discovered how to work on Zoom, no matter how difficult it is for the Spanish, because of the music and the sound with castanets together is a problem, but people have managed remarkably well. And I'm very proud to say that we actually were one of the first societies who started the pre-recorded exams. And these were hugely successful. Students couldn't come to class. They were being taught on Zoom. They could pre-record the exam, and examiners had strict instructions on how to handle the pre-recorded exams, and they worked beautifully. We compared results from this year to results from previous years when the children actually did one-on-one exams. And yeah, there was something like a 2 or a 3% difference down and up. So I felt that we really made a breakthrough there, that we could actually keep the people who were dancing up and running and continue to dance. And then, of course, you know, everything is going on social media. Everything is working through PCs. Everything is working through the internet. And we are working very hard to also keep up with all those challenges that are being required from the Spanish Dance Society.
Thank you so much. And again, keep it up, keep on working, because that is what we need to do around the world, whether it's classical ballet, whether it's pansula, whether it's Spanish dancing, whether it's flamenco or regional, whether it's ballroom and Latin. The world needs to dance, and the work that you guys are doing is so important. And I think this is a message that I wanted to get across last week, and I'm repeating it this week, is the one is not more important than the other. We need to ensure that we create the space for everybody, and that the children have the opportunity to choose what they want when they want. Number one. And then number two, I want to repeat the issue around funding, to say we have one pizza that we're currently cutting up in 1,000 pieces, which means every single person gets a slither of the pizza, and it's not working. And so what needs to happen is we need to get 1,000 pizzas so that we have more pizza to share with more people, because you cannot do and create work and shows without proper funding. Everybody talks about sustainability, and yes, it would be lovely if we got to that point, but the reality is the arts is rarely self-sustainable, but the arts is the basis of so many development that happens in the world. Elon Musk would not have been able to have sent a rocket to space and build the Tesla cars if it wasn't for artists designing all of the things that he sent into space and that we are driving around. It's also artists that are creating and developing the neural implants that he's working on with pigs at the moment, that we hope to be able to use in the future. We need the arts, and as artists we have to work together to create that pressure group around the world to say we need more funding. Let's spend less on the military and defense. Let's have less corruption, and let's spend more money on the arts. Thank you very, very much to all of you. I would like to give to Dame Rhoda Rivkind a moment to say her final words, and then Geoffrey, I'm going to call you to try and connect you so you can also say your final words after Rhoda. So Rhoda, thank you very much. But before that, Wilcarina, Hilary, Maria Luisa, and Zethu, keep up the good work, fight the good fight, and keep Spanish dance alive, and let's keep dancing alive around the world. Geoffrey, you're going to get a call from Kevin because I don't have battery power. Dame Rhoda.
Thank you, Dirk. I just want to say a big thank you to you for bringing everybody together like this. It's been absolutely wonderful seeing all these people from all over the world. And thank you to all the people that joined in with us. It's been wonderful hearing from everybody and seeing everybody. And we hope that we'll carry on all working together in the future. Thanks very much, Dirk, for organizing this. It's been wonderful.
It's been a pleasure, and it's been great to have all of you guys, the current group and the previous group. And I'm just waiting for Kevin to give me the phone with Geoffrey speaking so that that we can have Sir Jeff's, because it was Sir Geoffrey that I had originally asked to put the group together and to showcase the Spanish Dance Society. So, Sir Geoffrey, your final words.
Dirk, thank you. Can you hear me, everybody? Good. I'd just like to again say thank you to everybody who's taken part. A big thank you to Dirk. It's just been incredible to listen to everybody. And I now would just like to thank all the people who are taking over from us who started the society. Von Shayla in Johannesburg, who is a big help to all of us. She organized all this, put everything together. Wilcarina, who's taken over from me as chairperson of the society. I know that the society is now in excellent hands. To Rosalind von Belkom, who is vice chair, and to all our wonderful teachers all over the world. Conchita, who's now taken over in England and Europe. Thank you all, and just please keep the flag of Spanish dancing flying very high. We need funding, and we hope we will get it from somewhere. God bless you all, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Jeff. Thank you very much to all the people that joined today. Next week, we will be having Charles again from New York, Beverly back from Canada, both South Africans. We will have Altan Dugara from Mongolia, and we will have Javier Monier Jr. from Cuba, but living in Spain. So those will be my panelists next week at 3 o'clock. So an incredible journey that we're taking with the SAIBC Insider Conversations to the Spanish Dance Society. To you all, thank you for joining us. It has been an amazing, amazing afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dirk.